Thomas Gary Corscadden is a 3-time convicted sex offender. According to documents from a court hearing this summer, Corscadden traveled southern Minnesota and north Iowa looking into windows and hiring prostitutes to spend time with him in his van, which was equipped as a poor man's porn palace. Corscadden was classified as a suspect 3 months after Huisentruit's disappearance. Austin police contacted Mason City police, who along with the Minnesota Crime Lab and the FBI executed a search warrant on a light-colored van that had been owned by Corscadden. They found nothing at the time linking him to Huisentruit, but then 5 years later, during a psychological evaluation at Oak Park Heights Prison, Corscadden bragged about having been a suspect in this well-publicized case. When these details reemerged this April in a court hearing, so did police scrutiny.
Well, we had planned on interviewing Mr. Corscadden when a lot of these things came out from the civil commitment.
I had another friend who had a pickup over there.
Randy Seward, an acquaintance of Corscadden, remembers a police search on his farm looking for Jody.
They went through the bonfire pile thinking that we had burned her body.
A warrant was served on Corscadden while in custody in Austin for the hearing. That was this past August, 9 years after the crime. It would be the first time police ordered a palm print to be taken from Corscadden to compare to one left at the scene.
They were not a match with the ones that were recovered at the crime scene. We did have a talk with Mr. Corscadden. He was very cooperative, calm.
What do we know for certain about Corscadden? We know he had a yellow van, a Ford Econoline. You may recall the light-colored van cited by a witness outside Jody's apartment the morning she was abducted.
Where I seen it sitting.
We know that the business he worked for brought him to Mason City on many occasions. A former acquaintance remembers going with him.
Pretty uneventful. We just drove down, dropped off cabinets, and drove back. The way he was talking, he went down there just about every other day.
When Huisentruit disappeared, Corscadden was living with a friend in a trailer park in Austin. He spent 6 months there.
He would come around once in a while, and he told me he was living in his van.
Public records documenting Thomas Corscadden's criminal career began at age 18. His first arrest as an adult was in Moore County for burglary and assault with a dangerous weapon. He has a history of window peeping. He also has charges of sex abuse with a minor. That's what landed him in prison in 2000. This April, Corscadden then agreed to take a lie detector test, so law enforcement could explore how much he really knew about the Huisentruit case.
We would go to St. Peter, and we would use probably the BCA.
6 News First was the first to talk with officers after the test was given.
We did do a polygraph on Mr. Corscadden yesterday. The Minnesota BCA is the one that performed it for us. Corscadden agreed to do it. It was a voluntary thing. It's probably the last step with Mr. Corscadden. We've investigated him about as far as we can, and we're going to be moving on.
Mason City police say they're now back to where they started.
Turn over every rock we can.